Hi again. This is Iana. I definitely want to address something, and I feel like it's very important because a lot of you have been asking me questions, and I feel like it's very important. Basically, today, this is basically going to be about relationships and being in the military and wondering if that's really what you want to do, or do you want to stay in the relationship, or if that individual you want them to join at the same time with you so you guys can be together. I'm gonna address certain things. I'm gonna address true things and false things. All right. Well, for starters, I'm sorry for the noise. That's my niece crying. But basically, with me, Josiah, we were together as I've been saying for 6 years. When he joined the military, we were together for 5 years. Now, the reason why it was kind of easy for me to accept the fact that he wanted to join the military was due to the fact that I was going to be in the military. I did ROTC in high school, and that's where I really wanted to go. He didn't even think about joining the military. It kind of happened at spur of the moment. He prayed about it and he felt like that's what he needed to do. Unfortunately for me, I didn't get accepted to West Point, so it hurt me and it crushed all my dreams. So I just went to college. Um, Also, he wanted to join the Marines. I understood that. I kind of was a little like, why you want to join the Marines? Like, I feel like you really have to have a reason and not just join the military just to join it. Because once you get there, you will see that it's not a game, it's not a joke. And I mean, I know that I did ROTC. I was not enlisted, but I know what I'm talking about because I mean, I have not gone through the whole process, but I've been through it in a way. So this is what I would really suggest for any of you guys who want to join the military. You really have to make sure that's what you really want to do, um, because it involves a lot of discipline, and you may not really like. I don't know. It's just it will change you. When Josiah went to the military, he came out a different person. Like it made him better. It made him a better person, and he knew what his goals were. But the thing is, if you're in a relationship before the person goes into the military, you may think you guys will last. Some of you may last, but then you're gonna get through the fire and you're gonna feel it because that individual is either gonna have to go to MOS school, and MCT school, and you're gonna be away. Except for the 3 months for boot camp, there's gonna be extended periods. With my relationship, it was I feel bad because I lived in Queens and he lived in Pennsylvania. So we rarely got a chance to see each other. It was long distance and we saw each other church because we went to the same church. I go to Times Square Church in the city. His dad's now there, and that's where we and him meet like on Fridays and Sundays. So like I was already used to not seeing him every day. So it kind of was, I wouldn't say easy, but it was all right. Like I understood, uh, you know, I guess, what's the word? I'm trying to find a word. But I understood being away from each other for a while. Like it was all right with me. In some relationships, like even if you do that, you're going to really have to have trust. And I say that to say trust is a major thing in a relationship because like once the individual goes to military, he's gonna feel lonely at times, and they're gonna think crazy stuff because I don't want to say they brainwash you, but they definitely say a lot of stuff like, "Oh, your girlfriend or your family back home don't care." Or give two craps about you, and it's only just to break them down to build them up. But they start, being like, "Oh shoot," like, "Oh." But what I would suggest, and it's kind of sad because when Josiah was going into the military, I used to break up with him a lot because I didn't know how to be in a relationship. I was so afraid because I wasn't used to love. That was my first relationship ever. And actually his mom told me uh, that I should probably break up with him before he goes, because she was like, I don't want you sending a Dear John letter or all that stuff. And I was just like, what? I ain't gonna do that, you know? But sometimes being away from an individual that long can really take a toll on that person. And then, like, you don't wanna. What I'm trying to say is basically, if you feel like you can't handle being in a long distance relationship and that individual wants to go to the military, don't like agree that you will stay committed to them and then in the long run realize 2 months down the line, I can't do this anymore, you know, because they're in training, it's rigorous training, not a game, and it's like you're gonna hurt them. So basically, if you want to not be in a relationship at that moment, cut it, cut all ties, so you know, nothing, that person's mindset will be all right, you know, on point. um, Also, secondly, for those of you who think that you want your relationship to last and you love your girlfriend or your boyfriend, um, and you really want to be together and you want them to join the military with you, and you really think that you guys will be together, that is a no-no. You guys will not end up together. It's very rare, and the only time that you guys will end up together is if you're married. Um, Basically, if you're not married, you guys won't be together. You might end up having different MOSs, and one will be sent to the California, another one would be probably sent to Virginia. You don't really know, and that's like basically taking a chance, taking a stab at it. And secondly, too, I wouldn't suggest an individual joining the military just because uh, you're gonna join the military. Uh, as I said before, you really have to have a knack for the military. It's not a game because it really changes you. It's a mindset. You have to love what you do. And at times it sucks. I'm not even gonna lie. Sometimes you're not motivated. But you know what? At the end of the day, you gotta suck it up and you gotta do it. And you really have to have a knack for it. You have to have a passion. Um, uh, what else can I say? Basically, mm, if you do decide to stay in a relationship during boot camp, it's good to send letters to each other and just see how both of you guys are doing. I mean, in my previous videos, I've shown you that I've sent letters back and forth from Paris Island to me, and like me and Josiah was staying contact. It was good. I mean, it sucks. I wouldn't get a letter here and there, but you know what? I at least send my letters almost every single week, two times a week, just to know that you know I'm there. I care for him and let him know that I'm there. And also, when you are um, in your boot camp, you can't send like packages of food and stuff. Like you got to be careful. They will throw that joint away. I mean, some of them sometimes they do play games. Be like, yeah, send it, send it. You're not gonna give it to them. Probably towards the ending of the times when they graduate. But for ladies who are very skeptical about just being with someone in the military, honestly, it takes a lot of courage, and you have to be strong for them because, like I said in previous videos, you know, they're coming home to you, and you're the one who's their motivation. They're doing it for you. And at times, you're going to feel like um, you don't feel like you're their priority, but you are. It's just that, you know, it's their job, and military obviously comes first. Um, as for engagements, I definitely have to talk about that because I was engaged, and I was engaged for nearly a year. We were gonna get married next year, June. I think it was second. Yeah, June 6th or 2nd of next year, and you really, I would really be careful and just make sure that that is really what you want to do. Don't jump into something because you really care about a person and you just want to be with them. You know, marriage is a lifetime commitment, and it's very serious. And you have to make sure that's really what you want to do. And for in a male, I'm not a male, but I'm a female, but I know a lot. And for a male to even settle down, he has to know himself first. He has to be able to know what he wants to do in the long run. And for him to know that, once he knows that, he is able to settle down and actually focus on a family. But if he doesn't know what he's doing in his life yet and he's just running around, he can't focus. And he's not going to be ready to be in a relationship right away. Um, I wouldn't say that for me. I don't know what happened uh, throughout me and Josiah's relationship. I mean, like I told you guys, I always used to break up with him all the time because I didn't know how to have a relationship, and I feel like he held on to that, and he couldn't let go of that. And if any little thing happened, or even if a little argument or something like that, I mean, we never used to go to bed mad. We always used to forgive each other, but like he holds it in and he brings up the past. And for individuals to bring up a past and keep bringing it up, you're just only opening more wounds and you're not healing, and you can't go past that. So I feel like Josiah couldn't get past my stupidity, my immaturity when I was younger, I've grown. I've learned so much from my relationship, and I don't take anything for granted. I respected my relationship, and I felt like I learned a lot, and it has taught me to grow a lot. I mean, if we end up together in the future, hey, if not, you know what? He's still my friend, but I just say you really have to, like, just don't make any type of decision. Like, make rational decisions. Don't be so quick to be like, I love you, let's get married. Because you know what? Marriage is, like, to me personally, I don't know about y'all, I'm a Christian, and I feel like married, you should get married once. And like, it's very sacred, it's very, it's beautiful. And I feel like you don't want to throw something away, just because you can't handle being far away from an individual during deployments and just all this stuff. Like, there's a lot. You have to be strong, you have to have trust, you have to make sure that you have friends, friends out inside the military and outside the military. Once that individual is gone to deployment, make sure that you try your best to let them know that you care, like send them gift care packages and a lot of things like that. Just, it's all about, like, just lifting that person up and knowing that like they're praying for you, or you're there with them. Um, you may not understand what they're going through, but just be able to be in listening ear. Um, because during those times, I mean, honestly, you can see a lot of Marine or military girlfriends posting their videos. And honestly, during deployment times, a lot of couples break up, because they can't deal with it, or they just feel like right now is not the time to be in a relationship. So I feel like if you really want to pursue marriage, y'all should really talk about that, especially if it's very sacred to you. I say don't jump into something right away until you know what it is. Also, especially if you want to stay in a relationship, I advise that you discuss your personal goals. Um, I would just use myself as an example. I wanted to go to law school, and that was my main thing that I wanted to do. That's exactly what I wanted to do. And it's only because I'm a first generation college student, and I have goals. I really wanted to give back to my mother, give back to my church, my family. I have a lot of things that I want to do. And that included being a lawyer, and I want to be a judge. And I've discussed that with Josiah. He knows that. As far as Josiah, he wanted to be in the military. Now, um, we've discussed, like, I was engaged, obviously. We've discussed like moving plans and stuff like that. Also, if you're in a relationship, you may not know you're gonna